Welcome to part 2 of a special chat with Olympian Anneisha McLaughlin-Whilby. After copying that silver medal in the 200 meters, it was time for the 4x1. She was telling us about her experiences with Simone Facey.
I knew Simone from at primary champs because we ran on the same relay team at primary champs, so we had that synergy, and I think that's why we did so well in our era as juniors, because J3 had this program. As soon as we finished 10 relays, they used to invite us for training camp. And we would stay in Kingston. Like my first 2 years, we used to stay at Sutton Place Hotel and train at the stadium. We're juniors, we were at GC Foster. So every single weekend, we used to train together. We were like a unit. We train, we have our time trials on Sundays and stuff like that. So everybody gelled from then. So by the time we reached World Juniors, it was like we were from the same high school because we have been training together for months. So I think that really helped us. And it helped our junior program coming up, because I can see the benefits that we derived from having those camps, because we didn't really only focus on track and field. We had workshops and stuff doing. They teach us etiquette and interviews and all of those stuff. And I just really hope and prayed and wish that they would really implement that now for our junior athletes.
4x1 now. You collected the baton from Keron Stewart running the backstretch. You ran the third leg. You ran a mean third leg around the curve. Handed over to Facey in front. Facey carried it home. The stadium erupted.
Oh gosh, it was just a wonderful feeling to know that yes, we won and we did this for our country. And first thing we were saying, yes, Jamaica actually going to play. We have made the anthem play. So that alone, it was really, really a good experience for me. And the fact that we got to do this in front of our home crowd at our home make it even extra special.
And at that World Championships, many persons say it was the birth of Usain Bolt.
I remember when we came out to run that race, the finals, I actually over here talked to me, come and just the stress out. The stress out. You over here calm me down and stuff. I just remember that. I just remember it.
He was the one telling you to calm down, relax.
Yes, I talked to him. I said, I got this. I said, somebody really stressed.
Wow.
The crowd did really get to me.
So there was really a bond with the Jamaica team.
Yes, as always. How much years I was a junior? 6 years? I had nobody experience or national team. We just always gel as a unit. I have no issues whatsoever.
Then came 2003, Homewood Technical, Anneisha McLaughlin, National Stadium. What was 2003 like?
Let me see, I can't try to remember. That year, the pressure didn't on because everybody was saying, okay, we have a chance. And we had all the team coming in and stuff like that. But I mean, and as I said before, I remembered only 20 athletes score, because I can tell you this. You see, our team, when we came to Kingston, if you don't make the finals, or if you're not competing on Saturday, there's a bus that leaves Kingston Friday morning, taking it back to Homewood. So that was like a motivation for the athletes. Everybody want to make a finals, because nobody really want to go back to country Friday when champs finals is Saturday. So that really motivates me for doing things to make sure you at least in a one final Saturday. So you'll get sent back home on the country bus. But oh gosh, like even when after we win champs, we never really feel. I didn't really.
But it was the first time you were winning champs, 2003.
Yes, but it took a while for thinking, because when it's thinking, when we go back to Manchester that Monday. And we have like a national holiday at home where we had motor kill and all of them good stuff. That's why it really sinking. But before, it was like a normal chance to me, because we run, we perform. I ran 400 that year. I went 200 that year too. I think I ran 23:15. That was in class 2.
Right, the final year class 2.
Yes, yeah. But it's just business for us. And that's the thing that I liked with how Mr. Wilson, like, we had this professional approach to track and field even at the junior level. And I really appreciated that when I became a senior, because it wasn't much different from what I was accustomed to. So, you know, when we go to the track, we're not watching a race. You go out and you run, you watch your race. There's probably 1 and 2 races that run before you. As soon as you're done run, you know, you're heading back to the stadium. You used to warm down and all of those stuff. So it was just business for us. And we took care of the business and we win champs. But as I said, it never really so keen, and the excitement never really started until we went back to Homewood to Christiana. And our MP went all out for us. Mr. Shaw?
So how did Shaw?
Yes, that's when it really sunk in that year we win champ for the first time. But that was a mission accomplished for us because, as I said, after 2002 champs, we really saw that we stand a chance. So that was the aim for the year, and we achieved our goal.
And for that year, you went back to World Youth.
So when I won World Youth in Quebec, Canada.
Canada, exactly.
Yeah.
Sherbrooke, Canada. And you won the 200 meters. You copped that gold.
Remember, me they kind of upset because Mr. Wilson was not a coach on that team. So I went
That's
to
why you were upset?
my coach. Yes, me did upset because me like to travel with my coach. And he was not a member of the team. So actually was, well, kind of on my own. You know, you have other coaches there, but it's not the same as your personal coach. Like what you used to do, and you don't really want to do anything new with a new coach and all of that. You want to stick to the evil that you know. So we spoke on the phone and all of that, and I followed his instructions, and I won the gold medal.
Then came 2004, and the Homewood dominance began. Started 2003. Was it that year you guys came in with the hair, with the yellow in the hair? Was it that year?
No, we had the hair from the first year we won champ.
2000. Who came up with that?
Me.
You were the one who came up with the yellow in the hair, yellow and red Homewood colors in the hair.
Yes, on the stick up, alright. The stick up hair thing. I remember I bandaged my stick up here at World Juniors 2002 as well.
Yes.
That hairstyle came about from Sports Day. So
what sports day? Homewood Technicals? What's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole elastic and stick up. Then I used to go to Shanika Park. She used to show jogging for Homewood too. And we're getting ready for Sports Day because she always come my hair and stuff like that. And I don't see man why it come up, but she last stick up my hair and we brandish it at Sports Day. And then we continue with the hairstyle. I worked for World Juniors. And then now, champs, the first year we win champs, we were like, we need to buy some braids. No, let me tell you the thing with us Homewood girls. Don't we have track meet? Well, females on a whole, you know, especially if camera gonna be there. That's our secret.
Everybody
you
here.
don't know, like the night before you don't set up, oh, you're gonna do your hair, like all for Milo and stuff, you know, we come up here from Friday evening and stuff like that. So, like for champs, every year we normally, like the day before we leave to Kingston or the weekend, we meet up and say, okay, this is gonna be the hairstyle or whatever. And then we'll say, alright, since the elastic thing, we used to do the elastic up thing, let's incorporate the school colors braids.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about.
Worked well. 2004 dominant again in terms of Homewood Technical winning that girls championships.
That year, oh my God. I remember that year I was in such a good shape leading up to champs. And Mr. Wilson decided that, okay, you're going to run 100 meters at Central champs. Then Central champs used to keep at
Curvine. Right.
And I mean myself halfway into that 100 meter, I feel a pop in my hamstring. And it was like so devastating because that was my first major injury. Like major. I mean, I had the ankle thing at World Youth, but that wasn't something that was significant. And it was at the end of the season anyway, so I had time to recover. And on the back of my mind is now that champs is like less than a month away, right around the corner. And one thing I liked with my team then, when you have an injury, no matter what, they're going to take the time out that you heal properly. So for me, with that hamstring injury, I could not train really. So I got fit like the week before girls jump. So normally, like throughout that whole period of time, just rehab and jogging, long 30-minute jog and then stuff the way I can stand. But I really never get to do any significant track work. So that year when I came to champs, I can tell you that those rounds of them 400 and stuff got me back in race shape or fitness wise. And that's the year that I lost to Simone. And like even when I think about it now, I may say, why did I even cry? Because the fact of the matter is that I wasn't even really sure I would be able to compete at champs at one point in time because of the injury.
Was the year that Simone ran the record?
Yeah.
22.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very hard champ for me. But starting on the cake was we won champs. And I mean, I got a gold medal in the 400 and a silver in the 200. And run the 4x4. I did not do the 4x1. after not being sure that I was able to compete at champs, like 3 weeks leading up to champs. So that was a good and bad champs for me. But overall, I mean, that year, I regrouped. I was like, champs is past and gone, and it was World Juniors that year again in Grosseto, Italy.
Yeah, Italy.
In Italy. So after champs, my focus was now on trying to get back good enough to compete at World Juniors. So make the World Junior team first and foremost, and to be able to compete.
Up and down year for you. You got injured at Kirkvine at Central Champs. You came back for Champs. You saw a blistering 200 meters, which is still a record up to this day.
Yeah.
Everyone expected it to be broken. That did not happen, but it still stands strong by very technical Simone Facey. But Italy, 2004 World Junior Championships. Were you fully fit for that championships?
Yes, I would say so, because I had enough time, and as I said, after I recovered from that hamstring injury, it didn't really bother me for the rest of the season. So my World Junior team did not start off on a good note though, because my bag got lost. I couldn't forget. Then I had my spikes in my carry-on, and one suit of clothes on my back and a suit of clothes in my bag. And for days, my bag was lost. My bag came like the day before I started competing. So I used to have to go to the track, warm up in my slippers or borrow somebody's sneakers, and then I work out in my spikes. Because even though my bag lost, I still have to train because I'm here to compete. And then I get my stuff. I ran. That year, I ran my 3 events at World Juniors. I ran the 4x4, I ran the 4x1, and the 200. That was, so I left at World Juniors with 3 medals. So I end up, I still have the record for the most medals at World Juniors.
You got the silver in the 200 meter. But that clocking, what's the fast time though? At 23:21 at that time. What happened?
I don't know. I really can't remember. I really can't remember. As I say, I guess even though I was over my injury, the level of fitness that is required was not there. So even though the injury was not bothering me, I know for sure I was not in the shape that I was before I got hurt, because leading up to that injury, I was in a phenomenal shape. That's why Mr. Wilson was like, okay, I want to see what time you would run in a 100 meters. So he said, all right, you're going to run 100 meters at Central Champ. But I guess I never recovered fully, like fitness-wise or the sharpness. And that's the thing with sprinting. When you get an injury in sprinting, when for other events, because for me, I do both events. So when I am hurt and doing the 400, when I can do stuff and get my aerobics up, the explosiveness that you miss from the sprinting, it's really hard to get back that.
Getting these medals though, silver, bronze, was it disappointment because persons were thinking that Anneisha is going to win the 200 meters as she did in World Youth, now World Juniors under 20 championships? She fell one shot.
For me, the first and main reason why I do track and field is because it's something that I love and I enjoy doing it, and it's dear to my heart. Yes, I would want to get a gold medal or whatever, but getting a silver medal, I am appreciative. Even if I'm not a medal, I'm appreciative for the fact that I can compete and I am there and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So even though I guess some other people may look at my career and say, okay, well, it was not what them expect or whatever. It probably was not what I expect, but in the same breath, the fact that I get to do what I love and what I enjoy, I am appreciative for every opportunity when I get to compete. So it's not something that I'm going to sit down and say, oh, okay, I should have won the gold medal. And for me, I don't really worry over silver medal. I got a silver medal and I'm appreciative. And if I finish the meet healthy and whatever, that's just it for me.
Your final year in champs, I think, was 2005?
Mm-hmm.
You knew it was going to be the final year for you. What goals did you set for that champs for you and your school?
For me, I never really even, I just wanted to finish champs and a bang, and the bang for me was for us to defend our title at girls champs, basically. And in all of that mix, I wanted to do something different, so I did what? This was my 6th year at champs.
Yes.
And I begged Mr. Wilson to let me run the 100 meter because I never did it at champs, and I wanted to have that experience.
But the year before, running it at Central, You had a hamstring injury. Weren't you worried that may come back again running that same event?
No, because as I said, I think I got over that and I was preparing for the 100 meter for champs. Because what my doctor was explaining to me was that even though basically I was training for the 400, so the explosiveness and the turnover that is required from the 100 meter, my muscles were not accustomed to that.
Okay.
So whatever I was pulling on my body to do at that point in time, it was not accustomed to it, so therefore it just popped. So even we had a discussion about me doing the 400 earlier in the season, so I was prepared for it. It's not like it was just something that just come up and I do it. Okay. I was actually being prepared for it, so that was the difference.
So Coach Wilson, you had to twist his arm for him to allow you?
No, we used to have this understanding, we reach at a level, so it was okay. Because I said, Coach, I don't really want to do the 400, not the 400 from class 3. And obviously, I not give up my 200 meters because I love 200 meters. And I want to experience the 100. So, and I mean, why I was allowed to do that as well is because he had other athletes who could take my place in the 400 meter and still get the points that is required. Because even with all of this, still, the aim is still to win champs. So, he had the luxury and of moving me to the 100, have somebody who could do well enough in the 400. So, it wasn't a big loss for the team overall.
And the 100, you liked it?
No, sir. Not my favorite event. No, it's too short. But I just want to experience it.
How was the experience?
It was fun. The only thing I like with the 100 meter is by your quit the race done, so you not even have time to be tired. It's like a 400 where you have time to think and talk to yourself in the race. As the 100 meters go busted, you're done. And the fact that I had less events to do on Saturday, that was a plus too, because when you're doing 2-4-W, you have the both events on Saturday. So that was a plus.
Hobart Technical won the championship again, as expected, celebrations again. And you realized, though, that you are not going to come back at the National Stadium in Homewood Technical colours or competing for Homewood at the end of the championships. What was going through your mind at that time?
Oh, gosh. That made it feel emotional. Like, oh, my God, it's coming to an end. As anybody who knows me, Homewood is very dear to my heart. And for knows that this is the last time I'm going to be competing here for my school that is so dear to my heart. I just wanted to do my best and ensure that we win, because that's all I could do at the time. Just ensure that we defend our title and finish on a good note. It was a good 6 years and I just wanted to end on a good note, and I did. But it was really emotional. I think that's one of the reasons why Mr. Wilson even allowed me to do the 100 meters as well, because of my last jump.
Looking back on your high school career now, how would you judge your relationship with yourself and Mr. Wilson? In high school, not talking about you specifically, in high school, there have always been rumors going around about athletes and their respective coaches and stuff like that. I have to ask, what was your relationship like between you and your coaches at Homewood Technical?
So you have other coaches, but Mr. Wilson was the head coach. And for me, the relationship that I had with him was really, really good. He was somebody who was like a father figure in my life throughout those years. Like, he was always there to give us advice, encourage us. And one thing that I liked about him as a coach, he always stressed the importance of school. So even though I was doing well on the track, he was always in your skin, make sure you do your schoolwork and try to get that balance. Because even then, people who used to have this belief that once a person excel in track, they don't do well in school. And I aspired to be someone who was different. So I made sure that I have a balance between my schoolwork. And for my entire years at Homewood, I never fall on the top 5 in my class. I was a prefect from grade 10 until upper 6. So I used to balance whatever you see I put out on the track, I do just the same in my schoolwork. And that is something that Mr. Wilson always stressed, always, and I really appreciated that. And even when I became a senior and I was in college and doing track and field, it was kind of easier for me because I developed that balance from at a younger age. So it wasn't all that difficult. Yes, it was kind of stressing, yes, but I was able to cope and finish because I develop that discipline from high school to try and balance my schoolwork and my track.
Anneisha McLaughlin-Whilby, an outstanding youth athlete. 9 medals at the global junior level, multiple medals at the Carifta Games, and records and medals at the National High School Championships, donning the Homewood technical color. To many, she did not live up to the potential she showed as a junior. As a senior, she took relay silver at the Olympic Games and World Indoors and bronze at the World Relays. However, she is satisfied with her career in track and field. The Dynamo, Anneisha McLaughlin-Whilby.